Today, we're going to be taking a look at Pokemon card promos that are due to increase due to the autumn to winter buyout. So we're currently taking a look at Mega Evolution promos and Scarlet and Violet promos. If there's other ones that you guys want me to look at, if there's other types of cards that you want me to look at, let me know down below. But please leave a like and let's get straight into it. So we're taking a look at Alakazam. Alakazam unfortunately did get hit by a double whammy. So the set came out around October. It peaked at $21, but then unfortunately, because the set came out, there was obviously going to be a crash because of that. Obviously, people opening ETB, selling their own version, but you've also got the impact of the winter sellout. So during Christmas time, there's always a sellout, and this card hit around $5 to $6. That was around its lowest low, around $5 to $6, as you guys can see right here. But then after January, it's when it starts rising once more. So January time, all the way up to around April, May, tends to be a time that people start buying cards once again. And as you can see, this really had a good impact on the card. This price went all the way up to $15, as you can see on April the 11th. But towards May, that was its peak. So towards May, it starts falling off and it starts settling for around $12, as you can see here, June. And now it's hit a summer sellout, and this has fell all the way down to $9. That seems to be its lowest low, but we are entering now a buyout season where people start picking up cards again for their collection, and it's already gone up to $10. So this card is going to go back up in price, and a normal healthy sign of a card is when it hits its lowest low, it quickly turns back, has a decent peak, and never really flatlines back to its lowest low. So as you can see, we're in a good situation where there was a massive sellout and it has not hit that lowest low of $6. So it's only going to go up from here. Around October to November time tends to be its peak, and then December time, obviously, there's a sellout once again. So let's take a quick look at another card. So for the next card, we're going to be taking a look at Zekrom. So Zekrom is a card that is so pretty. Everybody loves Zekrom as a whole, and this hasn't got much data to kind of run on, unfortunately. So I can't really show you too much because we haven't got enough data on it. But the fact that it's a Zekrom is one of the most wanted cards in, obviously, Pokemon, and it's exclusive to ETBs. This is going to be something that you want to pick up. So around February, this is when it dropped. It was around $7. It did peak around that and kind of stay there, didn't really move too much, and then it started falling off. Its lowest low was $6, as you can see here. Then it started spiking once more around May, and then for some reason it went all the way up in June to $11. So this should be a point where it's selling off. So obviously there's a demand for this card. That's something you can kind of tell. Now we're going to enter in a buyout season again. These are going to spike a lot more higher than they currently are, or were sitting at in June. So definitely a rise due on this card. As you can see, it has pivoted here. So let's take a quick look if it's got a good... It's starting to move. So this is July the 17th. As you can see, it fell all the way down here, and now it's kind of moving back upwards once more. So the lowest low it was $8, as you can see there, and now it's starting to move back up once again. So if you can, go on eBay and pick up a couple of these for around $6 to $5 if you can. Haggle do best offers. You should be able to get a decent return on these later on down the line. But these might be quick flips. ETBs and modern sets that are still in print are hard to predict. So these might be a quick flip once more, but definitely something that you guys want to take a look at. It's such a nice card. I don't know if it will go back to its lowest peak. So this is definitely something to pick up. So for our next card, we're going to be taking a look at the Mega Charizard XEX. And this is the English version that you can only get from the UPC. So there is a Japanese version that comes in Mega Dream, but the English version is only attainable from the Mega Charizard UPC. So it's an exclusive, definitely makes it extremely rarer, and it's probably one of the best Mega attacks in the whole set. It's really cool, so definitely going to keep value in the long term. And when it first came out, as you can see here, the price of this actually was doing really good, and it went down towards December, all the way down here. As you can see, it proper got butchered in February, and then around this time point, as you can see, it started spiking in March. So March is when it went up to its lowest low in December to around $40, and then you can see around April it started spiking once more, so around 44, 46. Then it went all the way up to 47. It was this like only peak. Then there was a summer sell-off. So these are things that you got to factor in when you're looking at these charts. There was a summer sell-off, and then it went all the way down to around $34, as you can see here. That was kind of its lowest peak here in July the 29th. But it has started slowly moving back up. So it's something to keep an eye on during the August buyout. So during autumn buyout is going to start peaking once more. And like I said, it's a lot harder to look at Mega Evolution's promos for their returns because we haven't got a lot of data to kind of showcase. We can only go by our previous points of buyouts and to kind of use them as reference for this era currently. So at this moment in time, it's due to go back up. I would expect that it would go back up to around $50 as it was in May. So it could go up a lot more. You never know. If you do see them pick them up, yet again, just send some offers on eBay and you could see a decent return on this one. So for our next card, we're going to be taking a look at Eevee from the Scarlet and Violet promo. So this is a Cosmo promo, super cool. Everybody loves Eevee. And this is where we can start using our data a little bit. So we've got a little bit of a more of a reference to use. So as you can see, August 19th, 2025, this card was $1.50. And then it started rising. So the difference between this one is because that the card itself is no longer in print. It's easier to refer to. Obviously, we've got more data to look at. But you can see it just kept rising. It didn't slow down at all. And then you can see here there was a massive buyout. Loads of people started jumping on this card. Reason for that is because in a PSA 10 it's $188. That's pretty crazy for a promo card, and this is the reason why it increased. As you can see, that relates there to the PSA, and then it's just started moving again, and then it fell once more down to $4, $5 in this area. You can see around April, but it didn't fall at all too much from that point, which is really good because, as I've mentioned before, once we hit in the summer area, so this is around June, summer sellout, these prices have holded, or the max it went up to $6. So if I was you, it's on a spike once again. I would pick up a bunch of these and just sit on them, just forget about them in a year or two. These are probably looking at a $10 card. So they're super cheap, super affordable to pick up, and you could probably get a lot of these on bid or on best offer on eBay once more, or any other type of markets that you guys buy from. So for our next one, it's one of the coolest ones. It's a King Gambit. So King Gambit does have a promo from the Shrouded Fable collection set, and this promo is really cool. But yeah, again, promos just mean rarer cards. So we can use our data once again. As you can see, around August, this card was $2, nearly $3 in that area. It did go down to $2.50, and then around September it spiked all the way up to $5 towards $6, and then at the end of October or middle of October it went up to $7. So that's a decent return in them couple of weeks there. If you picked it up in August, you've made yourself $5 each card, which is absolutely crazy. And then around the Christmas sell-off, so yet again, I did say normally around November, December time, people start selling their cards. It fell back to its original price of $2 here, as you can see, $2.50, and then this was kind of where it stayed, which is good because it means that it didn't fall off too much. Around January it started moving back up. So in February, March, you can see it went up to around $4, $3 in that area, and then around April it went all the way up here, all the way around $4 by the end of May. And then once we hit towards the end of May, it was around $5 as a whole. And then towards the summer, so this is where people are selling cards, this is $5.50. So that is a really good point. And you guys can see that we are now just moving back up again. In August the 10th, it was $4, as you can see, but now we're moving back up. It's only going up. You might want to be able to get that quick flip once again. King Gambit is a very cool card. It hasn't got many illustration rares, and the fact that it's a promo makes it so much more desirable for people. People just collect promos. I do. I just solely collect promos. I think they're cool. They always have value, and they stay there, really. They don't ever move too much. So definitely something you want to consider when you're looking. Yet again, go back on eBay, go on all of these marketplaces or your TCG stores, and just try and get them for a little bit cheaper than they are listed. It will be a massive increase in the next few weeks. So for our next one, let's take a look at Pikachu. And this is a promo from the Paldea Evolved ETB. It's super, super cool, as you guys can see. And this was sitting around $10 this time last year. So it did start spiking all the way up in September to around $20, just around $19 actually. And then it started falling once again around October, November time. It did go back to its original price point, which is a really good telltale sign, because as mentioned previously, you don't want it to go too far below its original price point, its original spike, because then it doesn't mean it's a good investment. But this is on solid ground. Reason being is you can see its movement after January only went up, and it's also survived the summer sellout. As you guys can see here, it keeps spiking all the way up to $25. It has sold a little bit and it has fell a little bit, but yet again, we're way above its previous low, which was around $10. You can see we're currently looking at August buyout now, which is going to start booming once again. And then this card hopefully will outsell its last spike, which is $25, and we should be looking at a $30 to $35 card. Reason being is because this card currently, as we speak, is no longer in print. So obviously that's going to impact the value of this card, and that's probably the reason why during the summer sellout it did maintain its price a lot better than it did on other promos, as you've seen previously. So definitely something that you want to consider. Is a really, really cool card. Everybody loves Pikachu, so you can't ever really lose value when you see Pika. Next up, let's take a look at the big boy Snorlax. So Snorlax is obviously one of the most beloved Pokemon in the whole of Pokemon. So he is lowest low this time last year was around $18. So as you can see, August the 19th, he spiked a little bit, and then towards September time, he went up to $20. And then obviously people started selling cards once again. There was a reprint of 151, so that was also going to have a little bit of effect. But the reprint was a backlog of previous prints, and then in January it started moving once again. So you can see February it went up to $26 in March. So absolutely crazy. That was its highest peak, and you can see it never actually fell down to its lowest low of 18. It maintained that, and now we're back in that August buyout again. These are going to spike once more. Snorlax hasn't got any other promos like an illustration rare or anything like that, so he's very, very cool. He's a good, reliable, always increases in price, and he never really falls. Like I said, this is out of print, so it's definitely something that you want to consider when you're looking at some of these promos. I think the Scarlet and Violet investments are the best investments compared to Mega Evolution. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Charizard EX, and this is another promo from Scarlet and Violet, and you can see it's a very, very cool Zard. The lowest low of this last year was $7.50, and then around September, it spiked all the way up to around $12, and then once again started selling off a little bit. But towards December, it did spike back up and beat its previous spike, and it hit $14. But then January, it fell off a little bit, and then it started climbing back up slowly but surely, and we're only going back up once again. So around June, it was at $17, nearly $18. That's its highest peak, and now we're slowly back up on the rise again. As you can see, a sharp turn here in terms of pricing. It was around $15, and then it spiked all the way up to $16.50. So absolutely crazy. This is another one that you want to take a look at. Yet again, it's really good when we got data that we can look at from last year. It helps us kind of get an idea of how much they're going to increase, how much they're going to decrease. But definitely a card that you want to pick up. It's due to spike once more. September time obviously seems to be the telltale sign, and October is the telltale sign of these cards increasing, decreasing. Just pay attention to the market. If it starts falling, it's up to you if you guys want to get rid of it and then pick up something else. There's other Zards out there, obviously, but if you guys want to keep hold of it, obviously you can do that. As you can see, it only gone up, and it has survived the summer fall, so which is really, really good. These no reprint cards are going to be the best investments, because you're not really going to lose out. There's not much flow of stuff coming onto the market, so we've only got collectors selling off their collection. That's all we've really got. So definitely an investment you want to take a look at on this one. Next, we'll be taking a look at the shiny version of Charizard, and I believe this is from Paldean Fates. Let me know down below. But starting off this time last year, he was around $14. He spiked all the way up to $22 by September the 25th, and then there was a sell-off, so he didn't survive too much in terms of the winter sell-off. But you'll notice here he started spiking once more. So he did spike all the way up in February, March, and then he went to $25 by March, which is pretty crazy. And then in the summer sell-off, he just kept rising. He didn't fall too much. So around June, he was sitting at $29. Then he started falling a little bit. And now he's kind of sitting at $22, $23 in this area. But he's moving up once again. So that means there's going to be another spike. He's going to increase in price. Yet again, these cards that aren't in print are always the best option to pick up because there's going to be nothing else jumping on that market unless somebody is clearing out their whole collection and they've got hundreds of these. Shouldn't really impact it if it's one or two cards. So this next one is kind of hit or miss. I can't guarantee anything. Reason being is because we have got the Magneton from Surgeon Sparks, and this is probably one of the best artworks in the whole set in terms of promos. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a really, really nice card, but what we are noticing with Surgeon Sparks is that there's a backlog of stuff coming out, and I don't know if you're going to see ETBs hit the markets again, so therefore prices on this card may go up and down once more, but it is on the rise once more because we are currently seeing that there was a sell-off around here. So obviously around December, the winter sell-off, it hit its low at $4.66. But it has started going back up in price, and then around June it did fall once again, but it didn't match its lowest low of $4. It did rise, so we are currently looking at $6.62, and now it's back slowly on a rise once again. It's currently sitting around $8 all the way around. Yeah, well, basically settling at 8 pretty much. It will be moving back up once more because there'll be a buyout again. But I can't promise you that it'll hit the highs here again because there was a reprint around this point, which also impacted the market. So there may be more reprints that are due that could impact. So take this one with a pinch of salt. Maybe keep an eye on it. Maybe pick up one or two, but I wouldn't fully go crazy on this one because there is a chance there may be more reprints and that could affect the price of this card. But a good thing is it's not hit its lowest low as it did have a $4 mark. Now it's currently looking at $6. So you never know. You could make a buck or two on this. Definitely something you may want to consider when you're looking at these promos. So the next one, and this is probably one of the best ones in my personal opinion, it's a Vitini. So there's only one illustration rare Vitini that I'm aware of in this era, and its lowest low was $7.22. He did spike up in September to $16, which is absolutely insane. He's a beautiful card, don't get me wrong, and he did start falling pretty quickly. But the reason why I'm highlighting this one to you is not because obviously it rose back to around the same price point. It's because people are noticing that Black Bolt White Flare is becoming harder and harder to find. So this card should surely increase just off the back of that. You know how things affect things. You see Rayquaza, the Storm Emeralda set dropping, and Rayquaza spiking up. 25th anniversary, they're increasing because 30th is coming up. This is going to be one of the ones when people start realizing that the card has increased in price, and obviously Black Bolt White Flare has increased in price as well as a whole. People don't want to start getting these cards before they cannot get them cheap anymore. So definitely will be a spike. As you can see here, its lowest low was $12. Its lowest low this time last year was $7, so it has increased $5. But it is going back up slowly but surely on a rise once more. Definitely something you want to consider, and definitely something I would pick up. I would pick up quite a lot of these, actually, say maybe like 10 to 15. Just sit on them. If they don't go up even by wintertime or summertime or whatever it is that you guys want to sell them for, they will definitely go up in the long run. It's probably the best investment just to sit on because you've only got one Vitini at this moment in time. That's in Scarlet and Violet era, and that is the red Vitini, and this is the only illustration rare Vitini that is on the market. So that is kind of it, guys. Let me know down below what is the best card investment that you guys are currently sitting on, or highlight any cards that you feel like other people may want to jump on as well. So hopefully this helps you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.